Have you ever looked at a piece of jewelry and just felt something? A sense of calm or energy or strength? Well, that's not an accident. Today, we're diving into the hidden language of design, decoding how the timeless rules of geometry become the beautiful objects we wear. Welcome to the Visual Glossary.
This is the big one, right? The central question for any creator. How do you take something that's just an idea, a concept in your head, and turn it into something real, something you can actually hold? That's the journey we're going on today.
So here's how we'll break it down. First, we'll get a handle on the language of design itself. Then we'll start with the absolute basics, the alphabet, if you will. From there, we'll build up to 2D shapes, jump into the third dimension, explore more complex forms, and finally, see how it all comes together as a practical tool.
Okay, first things first, you gotta understand that shapes are so much more than just decoration. They're basically a universal language. Think about it. A triangle feels dynamic, right? A square feels stable. Why is that? It's all baked into their geometry. Every single line, every curve is telling a story.
This quote right here just nails it. Every piece of creative work, and especially something as personal as jewelry, is talking to you. It's taking abstract concepts like love or strength or eternity and making them visible, communicating them without saying a single word. So if we're going to learn this language, we have to start with the alphabet. And in the world of visual design, it doesn't get more fundamental than the point and the line. These are the absolute rock-bottom building blocks of everything.
Everything, and I mean everything, starts right here. With the point, it's like the big bang of design. It's the origin, the very center from which everything else will grow. Symbolically, it's unity. It's the beginning. It's just this tiny, concentrated speck of pure potential.
So what happens when you take two of those points and connect them? You get a line. Simple, right? But with that line, suddenly we have new concepts. Distance, direction, measurement. Even its orientation changes the whole vibe. A horizontal line feels calm, restful. But flip it vertical, and suddenly it's active, energetic, reaching for the sky.
And check this out. Just changing how two lines relate to each other completely flips their meaning. You've got parallel lines, right? Moving in sync forever, but never touching. That just screams constancy, doesn't it? Then you have perpendicular lines crashing into each other at a hard right angle. That's conflict, structure, opposition. It's a totally different story.
All right, so we've got our alphabet of points and lines. Now it's time to start forming some words. We're talking about the two-dimensional shapes that really make up the core vocabulary of design. The triangle. This is the very first shape you can make by enclosing a space with straight lines. You have two opposing points, and the third one resolves the tension between them. That's why it feels so active and strong. It's the foundational shape for all kinds of structures, from bridges to pyramids.
Then we get to the square. 4 equal sides, 4 perfect right angles. This shape isn't going anywhere. It feels incredibly stable, honest, and grounded. It doesn't suggest motion at all. Instead, it represents the material world, a sense of order, and things that are built to last.
And of course, the circle. I mean, wow. No beginning, no end. It's just this incredibly powerful, universal symbol for wholeness, for the cosmos, for eternal cycles. There's a reason it represents perfection and the divine in pretty much every culture on Earth.
Now, this isn't just some ancient symbolic stuff. These pure, perfect forms are the bedrock of the digital tools we use every single day. Take the ring sizer tool in a program like AlgoJoule. What is it? It's literally built on the perfect geometry of a circle. It's a direct line from an ancient concept to a modern, practical application.
Okay, so we've got our alphabet and we've got our words. Now, let's start building full sentences. It's time to pop these flat 2D shapes out into the third dimension and create solid forms that can tell even bigger, more complex stories.
Before we can even really think in 3D, we need a map, a frame of reference. And this is it. 3 simple lines, all crossing at right angles. This gives us our 6 basic directions: up, down, left, right, front, back. It's like the internal compass we use to find our way around in 3D space.
And hey, if you've ever used 3D modeling software, you know exactly what this is. This ancient geometric principle is staring you right in the face. In programs like Rhino or Grasshopper, this little directional tool is called the gumball. It's right there on your screen, a direct link back to the very foundations of geometry.
So how do you actually make a complex 3D shape? Well, you start with a simple 2D plan, this flat pattern called a development. You make a few precise folds along the lines and then, boom, that flat thing just springs to life and suddenly you're holding a 3-dimensional object.
It's kind of magical, and it's all based on pure geometry.
Taking that idea further, we get to these guys, the platonic solids. These are the 5, and only 5, 3D shapes that you can make where every single face is an identical regular polygon. From the simple 4-sided tetrahedron to the complex 20-sided icosahedron, these shapes are seen as the ultimate expression of mathematical beauty and order in the universe.
But let's be real, design isn't all straight lines and perfect angles. Life is messy, it's organic, it's full of curves. So now we're going to shift gears and look at the more dynamic forms, the curves and spirals and networks that just scream movement, growth, and energy.
Seriously, look around. From the way a fern frond uncurls to the shape of a nautilus shell, even the shape of entire galaxies, the spiral is one of nature's absolute favorite patterns. It's the visual blueprint for growth, for evolution, for energy and motion. We just get it instinctively.
And what happens when you just repeat simple intersecting lines over and over and over? You get a network. The best way to think about it is weaving. You have the up and down threads and the side-to-side threads. They're opposing forces, but when you interlace them, you get a final structure that's stable, unified, and stronger than the individual parts. So, we've covered the alphabet, the words, the grammar, the whole language. Now it's time to put it all together and see how this visual language of geometry isn't just theory. It's a powerful, practical toolkit that any creator can use.
When you boil it all down, that's what geometry is. It's a language for turning your ideas into actual forms. It's a library of symbols that adds real depth and meaning to what you create. And, most importantly for today, it's the practical bridge that connects all of this ancient wisdom to the incredible digital tools that we have at our fingertips.
So there you have it. We've gone from a single tiny point all the way to complex 3D solids, from abstract ideas to the actual tools on your computer screen. The building blocks are all here. You know the language now. The only question left is, what are you going to create?